All three cars being dominant in qualifying for the feature race, with Jason Plato putting his car on pole.
Things have really been stood on their ear for race 2, the feature race. For a starter, these Class B runners are finding Thruxton so abrasive, they're going to have to stop for tyres halfway through, even though, as you probably know, for them, a pit stop is not compulsory. Now, bear in mind, they don't normally make high-speed pit stops, so that's going to be a bit of mayhem in itself. And up in the Class 1 division, well, even the natural order of things here has been upset as well. Look, in the middle of the field, Anthony Reid, and alongside him, Rickard Rydell and the second of the Fords. Remember, in race 1, they were the boys right up at the front. And on top of that, the Vauxhalls. The natural order there has been changed too, because the fastest Vauxhall runner in race 1, remember, Ivan Muller, he was poleman and he won. Well, now he's the slowest of the three Vauxhalls who lock out the front row. Could go anyway, Waddy.
Thanks, Charlie. Well, Muller may be the perceived #1 driver in the Vauxhall team, but it was racing Jason Plato who actually got the pole position, and it was his teammate Vincent Rademacher alongside in the front row. Muller's joined by Alan Menu in the lead Ford, and also still leading the championship. The fastest Honda's Tom Christensen, and the second fastest Ford, Rickard Rydell. Anthony Reid and Gabriele Tarquini make up row 4. Independent Nissan, Matt Neal, and David Leslie in row 5. Class B Peugeot and Honda, and remember these cars will be stopping. James Kay and once again Colin Blair having another poor session.
Revs are up, ready for a start. 3 Vauxhalls in a row. Plato away cleanly, so is Muller and Rademacher. Anthony Reid there in the Ford making a lunge down the inside into Allards for the first time. Rademacher and Plato side by side, and that's one of the Fords off. It's Rydell. Rydell off in a very big way. They don't realise it up at the front. They're still racing, but Rydell has been punted into the wall. Surely they're going to have to bring out a safety car, slow down this race. There's debris across the track. Now, Rydell is just being helped from the car now. Good news there, he's okay. They are still, as I say, racing up ahead. That's Anthony Reid and Alain Menu side by side. Menu just sliding through there ahead of Reid. Any minute now, they must be pulled up because that is right across the track into Allards.
There's no question the safety car will have to come out. Too much debris in the track. The tyre barriers also, they've been damaged. They'll have to be put back into place. The safety car will be out at the end of this lap.
Fellows in the Ford pit trying to work out what's going on. They can see actually from where they are in the pit lane, that first corner, so they'll know what's going on. There's the word slow down, slow down. We're coming up now into the very first corner after the start where the accident is off to the left. There you see it. Very heavy impact, Waddy. Big damage to the back of that Ford.
Well, let's have a look again and see. We're on board with Tarquini. You've got Reid on the right, Christensen in the middle, Rydell on the outside, and literally the 2 Fords, Concertina the Honda, which in turn bumps Rydell off to the left. That was a big impact. Front damage, not so bad. What you don't see is the back of the car. It is destroyed.
Good to see he looks okay. Just giving a debrief to his team about what happened, who hit me. The cars, meantime, are about to do a restart. This is a rolling start now through the chicane, and away they go. And look at the lead that Plato's got. The green flag is waving, meaning they can race, and they are indeed. Plato first, Rademacher second, Muller third. It's Vauxhalls just streaking away. Over the back of the complex now. That's Tarquini and Christensen. Tarquini ahead in the first of those Hondas, then Christensen, then Matt Neal in the independent Nissan. There's Rademacher, Muller, Menu, Reid, Tarquini, Christensen, all sliding through the complex and out onto the back of the circuit. They'll have cool tyres again. They didn't get a lot of heat in there, Roddy.
No, there were 3 laps behind the safety car, and that's always very worrying when you have a restart. Everybody's on it immediately, but they don't always have the grip.
These boys are on it as well. That's Morrison and Lemmer in the 2 leading Class B cars on board with Lemmer. There's Morrison, side by side, almost chipping each other. That was very, very close, getting very friendly through Noble, but a good pass.
Yes, but it really tells you the story about Class B. Right now, Peugeot have got an advantage in weight, but they've certainly got an advantage with the power.
Waddy, another Manners attack. That was Muller sliding around the outside of Rademacher into the complex. Muller let through.
Let's have a look at Honda, see if they've learned anything from Donington. Remember, I pointed out high, the car goes up in the front. Well, what they've done, they've decided to change left side only. All 4 jacks in operation. Not everybody will go left side.
Didn't look as though that car came up as high either, Waddy. Might have been listening to you, Jason Plato. Here's our race leader. Still got a very, very handy gap.
And the car looks so good. Plato really comfortable. Really enjoying his afternoon here at Thruxton. Clear air, just focusing on the checkered flag.
Clear air except at the back of his car when he has that little bit of a lift. Really running a fuely car, aren't they?
I think he stopped off and got some of that city diesel fuel in that Vauxhall.
Every time he has a little bit of a lift, a big belch of smoke, you can see it there. Half tyre, half engine smoke. We've seen the Vauxhall do that all this year.
Yes, when Plato dives into the pits, so let's see how Vauxhall, are they going to go left side, are they going to go front side? But that fuel is really a method of keeping the engine under control. They shut the engine down totally off the throttle, but here we go. Jacks up as the fronts. But the car still appears to me not to be as high up as the Hondas. Great stop, 4.44 seconds from the race leader.
That's a cracker. Reid and Menu are starting to get closer to each other now. This Ford battle is starting to really hot up. Anthony Reid has shown us in the past he's not backwards when it comes to trying to get past one of his teammates. Saw him swap a bit of paint with Rickard Rydell in the last round of the championship, so I'm sure he won't be beyond muscling his way past Alain Menu if he can get within striking distance, and it looks as though that's what he's working on.
And just again watching Reid as he came through Goodwood Corner, he appears to have his car set up in a way which is making the car do the work, not the driver. And again through Church, see if he can catch up to Menu in the run up to the chicane.
He definitely looks less busy at the wheel through the back part of that circuit. Menu obviously is feeling pressure there because he's really using all of the curbs trying to hold him off. Now it's pit stop time. This is Reid pulling in.
A very late cut indeed from Anthony Reid, and just about manages to stop before he runs into the man at the front of the car. Reid and Muller in the pits. Muller 6.36, 7.52 for Anthony Reid, so disappointing for the Ford team, just over a second slower.
That will not do Anthony Reid's campaign to catch Alain Menu any good whatsoever, nor will it do Muller's campaign any good to try to catch the lead because it was a much slower stop. Leslie, meantime.
Again, David Leslie in the Honda for the first time this year. Car jacked up at the front tyres changed.
Rademacher now inherits the lead. He'll be well pleased with that, given the number of people that have been passing him this afternoon. Obviously going to be the last Vauxhall to pit. Mark Lemonau, Class B runner in 12th position, he's in.
Also very important from Rademacher's point of view is to stay out as long as possible to pick up that final point for leading a race. Those points at the end of the year count. First Class B car, and this is the problem we were talking about. They've got actually air guns, but they've got to take those 4 nuts off individually.
A much slower stop for them, but they must change tyres here. This circuit is so fast and so abrasive. Even with the Class B runners, they can't assume that they can get through the race without literally destroying their tyres. Now, who are we waiting for? Must be this guy, Alain Menu.
Right out of the very edge as he comes out of Church Corner.
Very ragged edge indeed. Complete commitment from Menu. All the way through the gearbox, coming up onto the back of